people in oppressed communities, they'll be drawn to it.
Yeah.
You know, that's, I think, and that's been my experience there. And also, we had a space. I think that's kind of come up as an issue. So that was really, you know, I think the key feature that made our thing successful.
So you guys, let's just do a little list. So let's think of what is absolutely essential for a sustainable Copwatch. A way that the public can contact you. So do you have an email or a voicemail at least where people can get in touch with you? Do you have a meeting time, a time when people can physically either meet one-on-one or come to a meeting and get to know you?
Like a regular time?
Like a regular time. It's kind of cool. And having a space, having a neutral space, not your house, because it makes people feel they don't know you, and so you might be some creepy, weird whoever. You know? So we need a neutral space where people feel empowered to come. How do you advertise? You know, how do you let people know? It's so sad to watch people feel so, nobody loves it. It's like you didn't tell anybody you were doing it. You gave out 50 flyers. You know, geez, what is the return rate on flyering? And maybe 2% of the 100 flyers that you give out will have any kind of
Less.
Yeah. So it's very, very small. So that grunt work kind of has to happen, or whatever. You know, and bear in mind, in America, I don't know what this is. In America, 50% of African Americans are not online. So if you're trying to, you know, inform people or whatever, part of that privilege thing is about believing that everybody's just sitting by their computer, just stripping away all day long. It's not happening like that. And I'll bet for other communities here, that's not, you know, non-white communities. I bet you that's a similar statistic. So having a diverse way of connecting with folks, evaluating your work. We have an evaluations and goal setting. This work is wildly reactive. Just when you're getting figured out, you just met the family of the people who got killed, and you're trying to, you know, sort out, they got a lawyer and this and that, boom, something else happens. Oh, the city council is gonna have an anti-homeless law, or there's gonna be some other thing. And you got to pick and choose. You are gonna drive yourself crazy, you're gonna burn out. You know, it's not pretty. And it's a long struggle. It's a long struggle. So what we do, and that's why, brother, I think there's so many wonderful technologies and things, but I'm kind of primitive like this. I like to sit in circles.
We do door to door actually too. Like Kirby vacuums all day through Winnipeg right now. We're spreading it nationwide just as the secondary part to the online stuff. I understand what you're saying.
So
you got to be
interactive.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I think that folks need to sit in a circle and go over a list. What have you done? What are your strengths? Give yourself a pat on the back. Think of all the things you do, because you're doing a lot of stuff. You're maintaining contacts with this group. You came up with this campaign. You repasted. You did, 4 Copwatch shifts. You did whatever you did. Give yourself credit for all this work. Applaud yourself. Celebrate each other. Then say, what did we do well? What do we need to improve? What areas do we think are important? And then say, what are our goals? What is our proactive goal? Our proactive goal is to recruit 20 people by next year at this time. Our goal is to have 4 Know Your Rights trainings. Our goal is to establish a website. Just get some 3 months, some 6 month and a year goal, right? So throw up all these things. Let your members, put their initials next to it or whatever, and then pick out the ones. Well, I think we could do this. This is reasonable for 3 months, and we'll check in on it. And that gives members, your morale is the most precious and important part of this whole thing. You've got to feel like that feeling, this is too much. All right, well, we could do that, and we know where that gets us. Or we could do this other thing where we sort of like bite off something we can chew, all right? And make people feel good and positive. The one thing, I swear, the thing that is keeping us down so much in the States is people feel hopeless. That is just, why do you think they're murdering people? So that you feel that way.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. That's what terrorism is about. I swear to God, some of these murders that are happening, I feel like they're ritual murders. Every now and then we just got to blast. The San Francisco, I've seen them on, you can go on YouTube, you can see them shoot a guy in a wheelchair. Nice. Shoot a guy in a wheelchair because he's going crazy and he's stabbing people's tires. I said, stop. Boom. All right, we told them, oh, we got the drunk homeless guy in the BART station. Sure, bam, we got him. Those homeless people won't give us any more trouble. Black guy jumping the turnstile, bam. That'll keep them, man.
In Montreal, there was a guy going through garbage cans.
Yeah, boom. You know, and it's the unpredictability of the police that makes us do what they tell us to do, because you don't know what you're dealing with. You might be crazy. I don't know, you might shoot somebody for a $2 fare. I don't know. That's what they want. So that's one of the reasons, and one of the things, one of the strategies that's being pointed to, one of the things, and when you talk about, like, I'm not going to the courthouse anymore. I don't care who they kill. I'm not going. Because I don't believe in it. It's broken. The same system that killed him is now going to... Who are we kidding? You know the story about looking for your keys under the street light? Guy loses his keys, right? And, well, all right, so guy's looking under a street light like this. Somebody walks up and says, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for my keys. So, well, where did you lose them? He says, oh, I lost them down the street. And why are you looking here? Oh, because the light's better. And that's what we do in our movement sometimes. You know, so we're not really going to that spot. So, yeah, we know how to have a protest. We know how to march in a circle. I know that ritual. I can do it in my sleep. But trying to find something that works is much more taxing creatively, much more, you know, and yet it's ultimately very, very simple. If you want to stop police brutality, get communities to stop calling the police. If we just did that, reduce citizen-cop interactions. So whatever we can do to build consciousness, to get people to stop calling the police, and to build communities. So that's why people are having little block parties. You know, like, we're going to focus on this neighborhood, right? Our mistake in Oakland Copwatch is like, we're doing the superhero thing. We're driving around at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're hardcore. Yeah, we got nothing to show for it. Nothing to show but mythology to show for it. You know, had we spent time saying, all right, you know, we're going to do this 8-block area by 8 blocks. And those of you who are just about to start a Copwatch, dude, sometimes you do it like this. Guess what? We're going to have a Copwatch launch. And we had a Know Your Rights training last night, and now tonight, we're going to go out on the streets. And we've sent press releases to the cops, to the mayor, to everybody. We had a press conference. We said, well, in response to the recent increase in police misconduct, we citizens have trained ourselves in nonviolence. We are going to be documenting. We're working with the lawyers, and we fully expect not to get shot. You know, and so we know what we're doing, and you know what I mean. But that it creates political theater and protection. People have to know what you're doing. They have to know why you're doing it and how you intend to do it, and you have to be accountable for how you do it. So this idea that somebody's going to escalate a situation, Oh, if you could fire a volunteer, I would say fire. But hopefully the training, it's like, and you just tell people, look, man, if you can't abide by these rules, please don't help us. Just don't help us. That's not helping. That's not who we are. And if you do that stuff, we don't own you. Never heard of you. You know, you are not Copwatch. If you are not respecting the people who are being stopped, you know, if you're not supporting them, then you're not doing Copwatch. But I think that press thing is really important. But we've seen people like, I used to have this thing like, oh, you can only go out 2 at a time, you know, no. Hell no. You call, and for safety's sake, you know, in San Jose, they convened, they had like 20 people. And guess what? We're going to pair up the Spanish speaker with the non-Spanish speaker. We're going to pair up the experienced person with the non-experienced. And you're going to go out that way, you're going to go out that way, you're going to go out that way, you're going to give out lots of cards, you're going to teach people about their rights, and you have to acclimate the cops to the fact that you exist, right? That's crucial for your own safety. Again, sustainability means that you have a way to keep each other safe. Anyway, those are the main things. You know, and I would say education, internal education. You're always bringing new stuff into the group, new stuff about your rights, new stuff we actually have a university class through UC Berkeley. We got a sponsoring professor, and one of the ways that we make sure that we have volunteers is that we offer every Monday from 6 to 7:30, we have a class. 20, 30 university kids show up to our little communal house, and they have to go out on shifts. They have to go watch the cops. So it's like, well, man, I hope you don't shoot the police, or shoot the football player. That's really gonna mess up the season. Harper Kemp, you know, in the basketball, man, you shoot him, this will be bad. So it's a way, whatever, it's a way of keeping a high profile, gives us a little protection, and puts some expectation on it. Plus, it plants little Copwatch seeds in the minds of the students and so forth. Anyway, anybody have any closing comments? I know we're keeping you a little bit longer than you were before. Go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge that I was doing a little bit of a negativity, especially around your comments about policing and saying, well, you can't do that in Toronto, and playing into some of the things that you were describing. I just want to acknowledge that I did that in the group. And I also wanted to ask, if you have time, you're talking about going out on shift, like, and I don't know if this is good for other people, what's the shift? So can you just give us a kind of what you do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a shift, you got these students, what does that look like, literally?
Yeah, good. Do you want to mention something?
I just want to ask a question. In Toronto, there's been a lot of going on with how the police is doing a lot of the work of immigration enforcement. Recently, we've had a lot of instances in where police go undercover in subway stations, inside of subway stations, and I've had many instances in when I've seen people and I've been asked for identification regarding my nationality or other people's nationality. And at that moment, it's an enclosed space, so you can't really leave. And also people take you in, and then like there's nothing you can do. Police, and then 4 or 5 people come, and then they take the person out to deportation or to the detention center. I'm just wondering if you've ever had any instances of how, how to Copwatch doing those instances of when police are doing the work of immigration enforcement and stuff.
I mean, I'll take your question and I'll come back to yours. I would say this, that, you know, we have certainly lots of immigration issues, and more the immigration function is being localized. And according to our laws in the states, that's a federal function. You know, local cops, and they've actually got this situation where when somebody gets arrested, automatically their immigration is checked. It's called secure communities, and the local police departments and city councils were originally told that was a voluntary program. Now they're like, well, as long as we got the information, it's not voluntary anymore. You know, so that question of like federalization is pretty deep, but in the immediate, you know, you want to mitigate the harshness for the people. You know, I don't know the Canadian situation or, you know, what the particular laws are. What I would suggest is that you build some relationship with lawyers who do know that stuff.
Right.
And I actually think if lawyers groups that have a sensitivity that will fully appreciate firsthand documentation and maybe can even instruct you about what to look for and how to train, again, internal education, how to train your members. But remember, you guys, we don't have to be lawyers. We have to have brains and eyes and maybe something to write with. That's all we need to be, you know, witnesses and valid cop watchers.
Yeah.
We don't have to have degrees. I mean, I think it's great that Winnipeg has that level of education, but sometimes that can actually become a little bit of a block because it's intimidating. People think, well, I can't compete with that.
Disempowers people.
But do you have like a lawyer that supports your group?
We have folks that we can call, you know, for advice and so